Good afternoon, Officer Tom Sparks, Sherwood Police Officer. I'm here today to talk about one of our properties in town that I want to say recently has gone through a dramatic change. I want to say back in 2008 when I was one of the street officers here and was routinely assigned to this area of town, we experienced a large amount of calls for service, which includes everything from vagrancy complaints to criminal damage to property, graffiti. And not shortly thereafter, we experienced a huge drop in calls, and being assigned to that area, I was somewhat inquisitive and actually spoke with the person on scene that was the management person for the building. And what they explained to me is they did a large change in their way they actually allowed applicants into the facility. And one of the things that they did is they ran a background check and actually required some type of credit score. I'm sure they must have had a number in mind, because once they initiated that policy or procedure, it didn't take long for us on the law enforcement side to see a huge change in the calls for service. And to take it one step further, that actual management agency went ahead and took some proactive crime prevention steps as well, improving lighting, removing bushes that kind of created a natural habitat for people to kind of hang out in. They changed simple things like closers and locks on doors so that people couldn't easily prop them open. There was a camera system I know that they made sure was up and running that eventually actually kind of did not need in the long run. A prime example would be comparing, say, 2008 statistics up until last year, and the difference is huge. We're talking 230 calls for service. Again, everything from ambulance assist to criminal damage to property to you name it. So not all of them are criminal related. However, if I told you in 2014 we only had 36 calls for service, the benefit there, just not in law enforcement, but seeing the community change in its entirety in that building, is light years difference. I couldn't begin to tell you the difference in safety. I'm sure that people must feel they're not having to worry about having their cars being, I don't want to say ransacked, but just having the criminal element hanging out there all hours of the night. They've done a huge step to try and allow the people that are in there that are of meeting their requirements, staying there, and it's kind of propagated itself to having an entire community there that's, at least on the law enforcement standpoint, has been able to almost self-sufficient. The maintenance there, will call us to document the graffiti, but they are the ones that actually remove the graffiti, and it's that day, if not an hour later after we're done documenting it, to make sure those things are covered up, and the people living there obviously continue their existence without having to see a lot of those things. So it's kind of an all-encompassing perspective, everything from the application process all the way through to the maintenance of the building has made a huge difference. And one prime example, if there was something as crime-free housing, would stand as a perfect example in my opinion, and having worked it and seen the difference from beginning to now, I would consider the end. I mean, I don't know how you could, I don't want to say do something better than that change. If you asked me today, what more could they do? And short of adding landscaping and walkways would be very difficult. I doubt there would be any crime-related recommendations we could make as a police department. It's just been that dramatic of a change.